So, Deontay Wilder will take on Gerald Washington on the 25th of February 2017. Now, I am looking to take the biggest risks in the safest possible way in order to see a return on my investment. On Paddy Power, the bookies have Gerald Washington at 8-1. So in other words, if Deontay Wilder fought Gerald Washington 9 times, they believe that Gerald Washington would win once. I see the possibility to make some money out of the betting industry. So my reasons are as follows. Deontay Wilder has only fought one opponent that I can think of close to his height, and that was Kelvin Price. Kelvin Price was never a physical fighter. He was more of a technician, and his punch resistance and determination didn't seem to be there. Gerald Washington is around 6'5" tall and physically appears to be very strong. And this could potentially present a new challenge for Deontay Wilder. Gerald Washington has a defensive approach to boxing so far that I've seen. He has a very conventional defensive style. He hasn't perfected that style. He's nowhere near as good as Vladimir Klitschko. Some examples of when he's work, his jab isn't strong enough. He fights on the back foot, but he doesn't go back on his own terms. He gets pushed back. And although his foot speed is good, his foot work needs a lot of improvement. Which is why I say he hasn't perfected the defensive style. However, because he fights in that style, he could find conventional openings. Because he has a conventional style, that can lead to conventional openings. He also appears to have some power. He has knocked out, I believe, 12 opponents out of the 18 wins. Somewhere around that. And he can punch. Now, Gerald Washington might not look explosive, but he fights in a defensive safety first style. If Deontay Wilder goes in wildly, he could leave himself open to a fighter that's defensively trying to be very cautious, and he might get caught by a right hand. Deontay Wilder also, when he fought a boxer in Artur Szpilka, he struggled against Artur Szpilka until the knockdown. Artur Szpilka is a boxer in the sense that he is more of a purist boxer. Gerald Washington, although is a different fighter, is also trying to be more of a purist boxer. So there are some points that could mean that Deontay Wilder has a harder time against Gerald Washington. And the fact that he's 8-1 means to me that these points that I'm going to quickly raise again, Gerald Washington fighting a defensive style, a conventional style may lead to conventional openings. He physically appears to be strong. And he can move. He's not the cleanest mover, but he's got fast feet. He hasn't got technically good feet, but he's got fast feet. Also, he can punch. And not only that, but also he's going to be able to move out of the way. Most likely he's going to be able to move out of the way of punches due to his height more easily than opponents that Deontay Wilder's fought that were shorter than him. Deontay Wilder, he fights at times very wildly, and if he does that, he could get caught, as he did against Eric Molina. And I think that there is definitely money to be made on Gerald Washington winning the fight. Deontay Wilder, as I said, has never fought anyone apart from Kelvin Price, and maybe an opponent that I'm not aware of that's roughly the same height as him. And the fact that Gerald Washington is undefeated could mean that he is that bit more determined. However, that does lead on to, in fact, that conflicts with what I'm about to say, because I am not sure that Gerald Washington is the most determined fighter. His unbeaten record may make him more determined, and the fact that he's facing Deontay Wilder, and if he beats him he could win a world title, may make him more determined. But in other fights I've seen, especially Amir Mansour, I'm not sure if he's a determined individual. So that may be cause for concern. However, at 8-1, I have to look at the biggest risk in the safest possible way. So, for this fight, I'm going to be going for Gerald Washington to win the fight. I'm not going to go for knockout or points. I'm going to simply go for Gerald Washington to win the fight. And those are my thoughts with regards to this fight.